Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I'm doing a tutorial for my friends out there that have a more mature skin. And this tutorial basically is just an eye makeup tutorial, kind of showing you how you can wear satins and matte shades or matte finishes together. I think one of the #1 things that I hear a lot of more mature women complaining about is that the texture of their lids becomes crepey. And for those of you that aren't sure what that means, if you look at crepe paper, the streamers that are hung at parties, if you look at that and feel the texture, that's kind of what happens to our lids as we age. And it's just kind of normal. I don't think I've come across one person who's probably over the age of 40 that hasn't started to get that kind of crepey appearance to their lids. So a lot of women, they feel that they can only wear matte shades because anything other than a matte will kind of attract attention to the crepiness on their lids. But today's tutorial is basically to kind of show you women out there who have this problem or complain of this problem, how you can wear a satin and a matte together. I kind of feel the same way that most of you do, shimmers and frosts on lids that are kind of crepey, wrinkled up a little bit, the skin becomes loose. I think that wearing shimmers and frosts can really draw attention to that fact. But I don't think that the answer is to completely go matte all over your lid. So I'm just going to show you guys kind of what I think that you should try. This is just all my own opinion. These are kind of conclusions that I've come up with just on doing makeup on my mom and listening to other women complain about the fact that they feel limited because they can only wear matte shades. So, you know, watch the video. Let me know what you think. I really do think that if you kind of try some of the suggestions that I make, maybe you can find a happy medium where you're not just stuck in the realm of matte shades, or finishes, I should say. Leave a comment at the end and, you know, again, let me know what you guys think. So there are several different ways that you can go about creating the perfect eye look for someone with a more mature skin. I do hear from a lot of people that because they feel that because they've hit a certain age that they can only wear matte shades, and wearing anything that's shimmery or frosty is just out the window. I've heard words like crepiness. And for those of you that don't really understand what that word means, if you know what crepe paper is, it's the streamers that you hang at parties. Well, a lot of older women complain that the skin on their eyelids starts to become crepey. So if they wear something that's a little bit shimmery or frosty, it really draws attention to the fact that their lids have become crepey in appearance, which I can understand because I'm going to be 40 soon. And I'm already starting to notice a change in the texture of my eyelids, which really stinks, but you have to work with what you have. Having said that, I feel that, and this is just my opinion and what I have seen and what I've actually tried on myself, I feel that sticking to all matte shades on your lid can make your overall look appear flat. I put together a video using all matte shades, and I didn't like how it looked at the end, so I just scrapped the entire video. So what I decided to do was kind of revamp it and come up with some solutions for those of you that feel that your only alternative is to wear matte shades. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can kind of think outside of that box. You can start with like a paint pot on your lid. Right now I have Painterly on, which just kind of blends in with my skin tone. Soft Ochre is more my shade, but I decided to go with Painterly. It seems to be really popular with a lot of you out there. So I decided to go ahead and start with Painterly. Now what you can do is use a satin finish eyeshadow. And a satin finish is not shiny, it's not frosty, it just adds a little bit of a sheen to your eyelid. Using a satin finish eyeshadow along with a matte will kind of create a little bit of depth. Your look won't appear so flat. Frosty eyeshadows can draw attention to the fact that your eyelids have become crepey or have aged or whatever the case may be. So yeah, definitely shimmery eyeshadows and frost especially. may not be the best route, but a satin finish could be a great alternative for those of you that feel that you can't pull off anything that is too shiny. So what I'm going to do today is just put a look together for you using a satin and a matte finish. Now, what you can do if you do want to use all matte shades is you can use a base that has maybe a little bit of a shimmer to it. And I have quite a few here. Sue Devitt does a really nice eyeliner, which you can use as a base. This one is, what's the color of this? Tanzania. And it's a very nice bronze. I need to sharpen that. It looks kind of nasty right now. Wasn't thinking ahead of time. For those of you that live in Europe, Barry M does a very nice pencil, and Little Miss 40 actually sent this to me. This is a super soft eye crayon in number 2, which is very nice. So you do have alternatives. You don't have to stick to a base like this. You can use something that has a little bit of a shimmer to it as a base and then put a matte over the top, and it'll just add a little something to that look. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with a clean slate here. I'm just going to stick with the Painterly Paint Pot. For those of you that are interested in using a liner as a base or something that's a little bit more shimmery with a matte on top, let me know and I would be very happy to put a look together for you. So what I'm going to do is start off with a little bit of this color here. This is a MAC color. It's called Patina. And this has a little bit of a sheen to it. It's a very nice color. This is one of my favorites. I used to use it quite a bit, haven't used it in a while. And what I'm going to do is take this wide eyeshadow brush, and this is a good trick for those of you that maybe don't give yourself enough time in the morning to get ready. Using a wide eyeshadow brush will help you get a lot of color down fast. So I'm just going to put this color all over my lid, and using an eyeshadow base like Painterly or even Soft Ochre, that just leaves a nice finish. There's no shine to it, no shimmer. It's just kind of matte on its own. Will also help to kind of lessen the effect of an eyeshadow that maybe is too shimmery for your liking. So there is patina all over my lid. And I'm just going to take a fluffy brush here and just blend out the edges, blend them up. Soften that look. Now patina is has a little bit of a sheen to it, but because I used it over Painterly, it didn't matte it out, but it took a little bit of that intensity away. So for those of you that, like I said, don't want a very intense look, pair maybe a satin eyeshadow with a matte, like a matte finish base. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and use a matte color for the outer V. And what I've decided to use was this color here. It is called Handwritten. This is also from MAC. It's a really pretty color. That's what it looks like. And it's kind of like a... I had all the descriptions written down for all of my MAC eyeshadows, but I've misplaced it. But I don't think this is considered a matte texture. I'll have to look that up. I'll put it up here. Okay, so typical place out here in the outer V. Just pat the color in and then start pushing it inward. Now this tutorial isn't so much for technique. I'm just trying to show you guys how to wear a look that has maybe a little bit of a sheen to it so that you don't feel like you're stuck having to wear matte shades because you're older. I've heard that from so many people that, oh, I'm older now so I have to stick to matte shades. Well, you really don't. I think that people really limit themselves because of age or because what they've been told. And I think it's kind of sad. You know, I'm the kind of person where I think that you should wear what you like, do what you like regardless. But a lot of people feel compelled to do what they think the norm is. And I'm not necessarily the kind of person, when it comes to things like this, to do what I think society thinks I should be doing. For those of you that have a limited amount of space between your lid and your eyebrow like I do, it's a really good idea to keep Q-tips on hand because sometimes that color tends to migrate up just a little far. So having Q-tips around will really help to kind of clean up any eyeshadow that has made its way up too close to your eyebrow. I have Q-tips right in my makeup cart here, right next to me so I can grab them whenever I need them. So this is a very pretty, easy look, and it's combining more of a satin finish with a matte. And it doesn't look so flat. You know, like wearing two matte shades, like I said, in my opinion, can really give you kind of a dull, flat look. I think it's always a good idea to add a little bit of a shimmery shade or a satin shade with a matte. I just think that the overall look is a little more flattering. Now again, just a really quick reminder, if you are watching this video, just so that you know, my videos are geared towards people with deep set eyes, but if you have hooded eyes, if you have eyes that are small, if you have eyes that are close together, you will find that the way that I apply my makeup will work if you have any one of those four issues. And I do have a whole video on that. If anybody is interested, I can link that below. Just a little bit right out here in this outer corner, and then you kind of pull it up to meet with the eye makeup on your top lid. Okay, so that's just a little bit of shadow on probably the lower third, or the outer third on the lower lash line. And we're not completely done with our look yet. We are going to add a little bit of a highlight right underneath our eyebrow. For those of you that are watching that may have eyes that are sagging or they're really hooded, by drawing the attention up this way, it will create a more lifted appearance. So even highlighting underneath your eyebrow will help to create that lifted appearance. So I'm just going to put in right here, that would be my phone. I'm just putting in a little bit of a flesh tone color, and I like to use, right now I'm using Blanc type, and I'm running it into that top line of that eyeshadow. And why I do that is because if I'm wearing colors that are a little bit darker, Blanc type will really kind of soften those edges up for me a little bit more. Because I don't like anything abrupt. I don't like harsh lines. Most people don't. Some people do. It works for them, but I know for me it doesn't. And I think that once you get older, it's not always a good idea to have any abruptness in your eye makeup. What I like to do also is take a little bit of Blanc type, and for those of you that don't know, this is Blanc type. This is a lot lighter than my skin tone, but it works for what I'm doing right now. What I like to do with this inner corner area here, and especially underneath my eyebrow, is I like to run a little bit of Blanc type right in there. Adds a little bit of, I feel that it kind of helps to kind of open that area up inside, right in this inner corner here. And then most of you know that my two favorite colors for the inner corner are Tissue Weight and Jest. And Tissue Weight and Jest together is just a nice kind of pinky flesh tone color that I like to put in here and kind of run up the side of my lid here, or the inside. But I just really like to keep this area here nice and bright. I don't want any darkness in that area because for me it kind of closes my eyes up a little bit, and I don't want anything to close my eyes up. So what I'm going to do now is take a little bit of this color. This is called Dazzle Light. Now this is a frost. Now you can omit this part if you want to, but again, I think that by highlighting underneath your arch, you can help with that kind of upward lifted look to your face. So this is something that I would suggest to everyone, even if you're just going to highlight right underneath your arch. I think that really helps. And then again, I like to highlight this inner corner here. So I just take a little bit of Dazzle Light on my brush and put it right in here. My mom was the first person to ever describe her eyelids as crepey. And after that, I really started paying attention, and that is a very common word used among more mature women who have aging skin, that they complain about the crepiness on their eyelids. And like I said before, now that I'm getting older, I am noticing my eyelids are changing. What I'm doing right now is just taking a little bit of Blanc type, and I'm running that right on my lower lash line here, and I'm running it into the brown. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and curl my lashes. I'm going to go ahead and use my most favorite mascara in the world that most of you absolutely hate. But that's okay because I love it, so stop buying it because I'll buy all of it. Now for those of you that are starting to have problems with your eyelashes, meaning they're thinning, they're not growing, they're sparse, adding a few single eyelashes, false lashes, can help with that. And then I would suggest just lightly going over your lower lashes with some mascara. I wouldn't ignore the lower lashes. I'd always put a little something. And that's another thing too. Some people, I have read in some makeup books, you know, don't ever put any mascara on your lower lashes. Then you read some that say don't skip it. I personally think that just adding a little bit can really help with your look. But that's just my opinion. That's just what I think. But if somebody asked me, I would say definitely don't skip your lower lashes. Okay, now for the lower lash line or the lower waterline, what I'm going to do is use a flesh tone pencil. And I have a matte chromographic pencil, so you can use any flesh tone color that you like. Or if you prefer white, white would work as well. And then for my upper waterline, I'm just going to go ahead and use a black pencil. And what you can do is, because I think that fleshy area that kind of sticks up when you, oh, my eyes get so watery. That fleshy area that kind of is a little more pronounced when you curl your lashes. I think that looks really bad when it's not kind of covered with black. So if you want, you can kind of just do the center where it's really sticking out, and that's what I do a lot of times. I will just do this center part right here and really get it between my lashes. I won't take it from corner to corner. So I just kind of am covering up that area that's sticking out. Okay, so we're done. And I hope that you guys like this. I hope that you found it helpful. I just really think that women shouldn't feel limited by their age. And I understand the concerns and I understand the problems. I really, really do. Because my mom has the same complaints that most of you do. That creepiness, the droopiness, the hooded appearance. You know, I understand all of that. But I think, again, and this tutorial was just about matte shades and kind of breaking out of that thinking that the only thing that you can wear on your lids is a matte shade. I did my mom's makeup, and I put patina on her, which is the all-over lid color that I have on right now. Patina, and I used, I think it was satin taupe. And it looked beautiful on her, and she was really surprised at how I was able to kind of make her eyes look a little less hooded. And I kind of got her away from thinking that the only thing she could use was matte shades, because up until that point, that's all that she was using. We went to MAC, and even the makeup artist had a hard time convincing my mom that, hey, you know, you don't have to stick with just all matte. You can't go with a satin. You know, and I understand the concerns. You don't want to use anything that's too frosty or shimmery. I get that. I totally understand it. When I do videos, if you see me wearing something that's really frosty or shimmery, that is pretty much just for the video. I just recently did a lilac-y spring look, and that was really kind of shimmery and frosty. that's not the typical eye makeup that I wear when I leave the house. This is more typical of what I wear when I'm leaving the house. You know, a lot of times I will do a satin and a matte, or a shimmer and a matte, but I don't just do all matte shades on my lids. Again, I just think it really makes your overall look and appearance flat. So I really do hope that someone took something away from this. You know, even if you don't agree with me, just give it a try. You know, start with a base that will turn into a matte finish, like Painterly turns into just a powdery texture, and it's matte in appearance. There's no shine to it. And then try putting a satin finish eyeshadow over the top of that. Just give it a try. You know, if you don't like it, you don't like it, but at least you can say you tried. You know, mixing satins and mattes together, they work. You know, if you want to try something a little more shimmery, again, start with a matte base and put a shimmer, a little more of a shimmery eyeshadow over the top, and it'll lessen that effect. But I think this is really pretty, and I think it's very doable, very wearable, and even if you're older, I think that you can pull something like this off. Do I suggest these exact colors? No, because this is just what I like. You know, I love patina. It's one of my favorite colors. You know, you just find what works for you. So, but again, I have patina all over my lid and handwritten out in the outer corner. And I think it's really, I don't know, I think it's just a very pretty combination, and it gets you away from the flatness of matte shades. So, let me know what you guys think. I'm really curious to get some opinions on this. Be nice, please. But just, you know, let me know what you guys think of it. So, all right, everybody, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.